Day 5. I had my kid do the brushing last night, and then we ran the pumps again last night, and this is the morning. Everything is looking great overall. At this point, honestly, it feels a little picky uni to keep going, but I am just that type A personality. There are just some small little streaks in the pool of the sediment and sand that are there. They're not nearly as noticeable up higher as they were yesterday. Day 5 thoughts. Well, I feel like I could swim in my pool today, which is amazing. I am going to get started and drop Betty. We are going to pick up the rest of it. We are going to see if she skims today. She didn't skim yesterday. We did 2 drops yesterday. This is the 3rd day that I hadn't brushed everything in. We had brushed it in, but we hadn't let it settle. And so she did a lot of skimming that day. So it's interesting the differences. Beginning of day 5. Woohoo! So it is about 3 hours into day 5. I got a push notification from my Sora app that Betty wanted to have her filter cleaned out. But when I came out, Betty was busy skimming because she was busy working. So I've pulled her out. Ooh. So this is what day 5, this is what's coming out after 5 days of skimming. That is how filthy our pool was. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned out. We're going to put it back in Betty and we're going to drop her back in the pool again. We have the filter cleaned out. It is ready. I'm going to drop it in Betty. Here we are, dropping the filter in Betty, closing it up and putting her back in. Now, things to keep in mind that are amazing. It has been going for 3 hours. I can still see the bottom of my pool. Yeah, I can see spots of sediment that remain, but it's really exciting because the reality is our pool had not been cleaned since September. It is currently the 4th of June. So the fact that we've been working on it for 5 days isn't crazy, because if you think of how long that is, even though we have a cage, we live in Central Florida. The reality is that there is a lot of sand around here, and then sediment just also joined with it. And Betty is getting our pool back to beautiful. So we are going to let her finish her day. We are going to see where we end for the day and see what decisions we make. However, I do think with how it's looking that this might be our final day as far as our science experiment. Doesn't mean that I won't run her a couple times later this week. But it does mean that I think our pool is almost open. But stick around and find out. You can see Betty diving from where we just put her back in. It takes her about 5 minutes. Before you know it, she'll be back to work. She's good like that.
If you found value in today's video, like, share, and subscribe so we can hang out again.
Today is the end of day 5. And what can I say? But I love Betty more today than the first day we dropped her in the pool. She's done a fantastic job. She worked over 5 hours today on our pool. There's a little bit of sediment in the pool. I'm sure I'm gonna turn the pool pump on, and I'm sure it's actually gonna pull most of it out. And we're at the place on after the first night, I changed our pool filter and cleaned it off. And I'm thinking tomorrow I will do the same thing. Our jets are starting to slow down and acquire the sediment in it. And so I will, in the morning, pull our pool filter, switch it out, and get those jets going really strong. I'm thinking that this is the end of our experiment, but I'll let you know in the morning. But overall, super excited and highly satisfied with my new Beatbot Sora 70, otherwise known as Betty the Bot, the pool bot. But the one thing that I do want you to notice about today is normally Betty parks herself just anywhere along the sides. But today, Betty parked herself on our second step to make it even that much more easy. And I have to say that how easy is it to get her in and out of the pool? As you pull her up, she's weighted down because of the water. So I'm a middle-aged woman who is moderately fit. The reality is I can do it, and it's really not a problem. So if you're a little bit older or struggle with weight that's around 20 to 30 pounds, which is kind of what it feels like as you pull her out of the water initially because of the water, the amount of water that's in it, that's something to know to like anchor yourself appropriately so you don't fall in and that you're able to hold her as she drains out that water. Oh. Another thing to be aware of, she likes to turn our pool jets. They have angles, as I'm sure you're aware, that they can shoot in different angles. And just be aware that she does like to adjust the angles of our pool jets. And I looked down and I saw that our jet on our second step is now facing directly up. So that's a good thing to note before you turn on the pool pump. Otherwise, stick with me and I will give you a full synopsis of what the science experiment has meant to our family overall, everything that we have learned on this journey. And I thanks for sticking with us till the end.